Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. So I recently finished the book 10X is Easier Than 2X, and it's by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Ben Hardy. And I encourage you to read this book. I'll make sure that there's a link in the show notes to the Amazon link. But I had such an epiphany reading this book and I wanted to share it with you. And it's not the message it's not part of the core message, which is what's interesting. It's one of what I call like the tangential points of the book. But for some reason, it caught me on a day when I was listening to this book on the beach. I was like, wait a minute, this is actually huge. I got to write this down. And it was the formula that the authors use to construct your calendar. It was so simple, but it has made such a difference. And they've really pointed out something to me that I didn't realize that I was struggling with. And I wanted to pass this on to you too, in case this is something you're not conscious of. The issue that I became aware of through this book was in this journey of 10X versus 2X and opening your mind and thinking bigger. They talk about context switching and they talk about how to kind of program your calendar to optimize your performance in a particular area and to allow yourself that white space and allow yourself the 2 or 3 things per day that you're going to tackle. And it was just phenomenal to me because I think I still have this kind of mentality from corporate. I can't shake it. It's so instinctive that, white space is free time is available time. And free time equaling available time, probably one of the most I would say, I don't want to say toxic, but one of the most harmful mindsets that I still carry with me is that free time is available time. Meaning, are you free this afternoon? And I say yes, because I don't have any other appointments. However, I have 3 stacked back-to-back meetings in the afternoon, and I really don't want to add more. And giving myself the permission to say, I'm not free. Available time and free time are not the same thing. And I want to keep it free. I want to keep it free and I want to keep it free of more meetings. What they also talk about in the book is this idea, and this was the pivotal point, was creating 3 bucket of days. They would say you have your free days, you have your buffer days, and you have your focus days. And I love this concept because I then went into my calendar and I realized that every single day I was switching context constantly. I would have team meetings in the morning. I would have client meetings in the midday, and they would be sprinkled back and forth and back and forth. I would have a team one-on-one and then a client call, and then a team huddle and then a client call. And then I would have to get tasks done for half-hour blocks in between, which, let's be real, I'm just like getting my mind straight back on for a half hour, maybe getting something to eat, taking a short walk in between meetings, like being productive in between meetings. It's not worth starting a new task. You're going to have to end in 15 minutes, right? So I was looking at my days and I was like, this is why I feel so unproductive, because I am letting everybody else just paste Post-it notes on my calendar like I did when I was in corporate. I'm letting people just plot time on the calendar for me. And I said, no, we're going to fix this. And I've already made the step to use Calendly and use it way more intentionally, with only allowing client meetings Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and having team meetings on Monday. That was step 1. But now within the Tuesday through Thursday, we have now made it really optimized into certain days are for client check-ins, certain days are for buffer days, which I'm going to explain. And it just goes back and forth where I have 2 focus days and a buffer day in that zone, a buffer day on Monday and a free day on Friday. And it's been magical for my calendar. And I'm going to explain what each of these 3 categories mean. So focus days are the days that you're in the work, you're doing client work, you're doing the actual stuff that you're trained to do. This is you running the business. This is you dealing with clients. This is you dealing with the day-to-day. Think of managing the operations, managing the actual flow, the actual work. And a buffer day is I want you to think of the on the business stuff. So a buffer day would be like going to a training, doing interviews, doing marketing, perhaps. A buffer day for me is marketing, team meetings, like just, supporting the team. It might be, writing copy. It might be doing the podcast. It might be, it's work, but I would call it lighter work. It's the work that you're doing to grow your business, but not the actual client work. And you don't have to be like in the zone and like in Excel and QuickBooks and stuff. It's the work you're doing outside of that. And that's been great to have 2 buffer days a week that are, one is for team meetings, one is for marketing, copy, creative. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So I have about 2 focus days, 2 buffer days, and 1 free day each work week. And the free day is basically it's a personal day or it's by choice only. So every Friday, I actually have no meetings on Fridays, internal or external. I will do 1 or 2 podcast interviews, and that's basically it. Everything else is by choice. So if I decide I want to get some focus work done because I'm having a good day that day and I just feel energized, I could, but I have no other context switching that will happen. And that's the important part, is what Dan Sullivan covers in the book is that you actually are even more unproductive because you are switching from the mindset of somebody who's focused on the client work into the buffer zone and then back again. So when you're switching those different categories, you're actually becoming way more unproductive because you're almost hitting a reset button altogether on how you're approaching the work you're doing that day. So I found that when you can be well rested, wake up, I get some movement in, and then I come to the table and I know today is a buffer day. Like I stay in that zone all day. I get a ton done because I'm constantly in marketing mode or I'm constantly in team manager mode, delegating mode. I kind of put that hat on for that role pretty much the whole day. And I realize that can't be done every single day. But if you can make your best effort to actually mark your calendar with what's a buffer day and what's a focus day, it is a total game changer. I even categorized my calendar through color on like green is a focus day, yellow is a buffer day, blue is a free day, so that I could see when green was slipping into the blue days or green was slipping into the yellow days or yellow was slipping in. So I knew what I could possibly clean up. And I got to say, it's really helped a lot with just my productivity, but also my perception of how busy I am because I see all these things I have to do on a given day. I get stressed out and I'm like, you know what? But today's a focus day and I'm going to get it all done because I'm just dedicated to getting the client work done today. And also carving out times on Tuesdays. Most of the time, Tuesday is a buffer day and I'm able to really focus on the business stuff on that day. And it's been great. It's been absolutely wonderful. I've been practicing this now for, I want to say the last 6 to 8 weeks, and it's just been great. So I wanted to pass that on to you because this was something I took away from the book. And it was something that was kind of toward the later part of the book, but it was really impactful for me because I said, you know what? I like that idea. I'm just going to go try it. And this is one thing I would encourage you to do. If you get those ideas, especially from books or from podcasts, and you go, hey, that sounds like a good idea. Try it. Try it for a week. Try it for 2 weeks. You got nothing to lose. Just try it and see if it works for you. And I encourage you, pick up a copy of that book or take a listen to it. It was absolutely phenomenal. It really kind of shifted my mindset on how we can really trigger those quantum leaps in business and how we can open up our minds to a lot bigger than we're currently thinking. Okay, real talk. Our business can really mess with our emotions and our mindset. Am I right? One day we feel like we're unstoppable, like we could run through a wall, and then the next we want to burn it all down and start from scratch. Hey, I'm with you. A lot of this has to do with how we approach our money. And if you need a quick jolt of mindset habits for the next 5 days to help you reboot and recalibrate, check out my 5-day financial mindset refresh delivered straight to your email. Click the link in the show notes to sign up right now. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.